Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about, I'm going to go with stunning capitulation of one of the biggest, most established, highest prestige law firms in the country. That would be the Paul Weiss firm. Basically just paying Donald Trump ransom in order to get off his shit list. This is of a piece with what's happened in media, what's happened in tech, things that, with all the concerns we had going in about how he would completely demolish the government and mess things up, as he has. I don't think we recognize the prospects for his huge impact and tyrannical kind of demands that are being met by big sectors of civil society, and especially the richer the companies are. So we saw this play out in media, right? We had LA Times or CBS actually knuckle under to ridiculous claims, ones also that had nothing to do with any semblance of legitimate federal power, just complete little personal reprisals by Donald Trump, because they were scared of the overall financial implications. So what he's doing to big law, I mean, he's really found this soft spot, and he is just, kneeing them repeatedly. So first they came for Covington and Burling, huge firm. What did it do? It represented Jack Smith, who is the special counsel. Now, Jack Smith not only has done nothing wrong, but he has been, he was a paragon of the sort of special counsel prosecutor in cases that were completely legitimate, but that Trump escaped for reasons having nothing to do with the facts and the law. So it's, impeccable, unassailable. No one would have ever said anything in the past about representation of Jack Smith by Covington and Burling, but he comes out of the box to punish them. We'll see what happens there. Perkins Coie, the other big law firm, they've pushed back by suing, and we'll see what happens in the lawsuit. And of course, the problem here is, as Perkins and all these firms know, is, let's say Perkins Coie wins, and they should. This is a violation of the Sixth Amendment, probably the First Amendment. You can't do this. And all they've done, by the way, was represent the Democratic Party. But his completely inappropriate throwing around of his weight has a great impact no matter what happens. This is the sort of dirty secret that is driving things. Perkins Coie, they're in existential danger. Whatever they do, they've sued back, but even if they win, that what they're worried about is big clients who want to hire them for things having to do with the government. That's a huge part of their business, are going to say, we can have Perkins Coie or another law firm, and Perkins Coie, even if they won, seems to be on the government shit list. We better shy away. Okay, so now here comes Paul Weiss. Certainly the top 5 law firms in the country, an amazing kind of track record. And this is like a big institution like CBS, like Columbia University, which is now having its own problems. And Trump does the same thing to them. Now, notice how he does it, by the way. It's part of a broader theme where he abuses his supposed his powers on to attend to national security. The idea that Covington or Perkins Coie or Paul Weiss poses any threat to the national security is ridiculous and offensive. But there's law out there that they're relying on, and this is in other areas as well. We're seeing this in the Jeb Boasberg case, where they think they can just say national security, and people, including the Supreme Court, will endorse the idea you just can't second guess Trump. And of course, that means, we can all understand he is lying through his teeth, and yet he gets to do it. It would be a staggering state of affairs, and the law would be an ass. But so right now he does that, and he goes to Paul Weiss and plays the same card, and Paul Weiss with folds. Paul Weiss, the gun is to their head, and they pay the ransom, $400 million worth, and he's apparently even added extra terms to it. This is just big law completely capitulating to and going down on its knees before the President of the United States. The top dog at that firm, a sort of titanic figure in New York legal circles, went to the White House, had a meeting with Trump, and you can be sure, because Trump doesn't have like a public and private persona. He's just all Trump all the time. Made these demands, and they went back, and the partnership thought it over, and they knuckled under. And by the way, this can have really bad consequences for them. I mean, Trump completely illegitimately put them between a rock and a hard place. They took the rock, but they're going to have trouble recruiting people now. They're the quislings, the suck-ups to the government rather than the lawyers who retain their integrity. It's just a complete surrender of integrity, acquiescence to, against the principle that you represent who you want, and that's what law firms do. That's what law firms have always done. They blinked. And, in a room, their very conservative partnership thought about their very conservative client base and said, we're going to get hurt here. And they blinked. There is a question, and maybe we'll see it soon. In each of these instances, there's a sort of a collective action problem. If all of big law or big media or the Academy banded together, so, essentially forced Trump to take us all out or shut up, that would be the kind of pushback that might do something. But he plucks them off one at a time, exposes them to just inordinate pressure. You can almost see that, but wow, that Paul Weiss paid the ransom. I have to tell you, from within legal culture, that kind of knuckling under, and, it involves certain agreements to not do DEI policies and to take on certain clients, completely shoving down the throat of things that it's just an absolute abandonment. I mean, it's not just the money. They totally lose their pride, their integrity. It's a dark day and really repugnant. And, his ability to do this so far successfully along the same model, just make these outlandish lies of accusations, especially using national security, but knowing that the really rich interests in this country realize that in his ruthlessness, this could have a lot of collateral consequences. And in none of the industries so far, university, media, big law, they figured out the answer. And it's hard, but you have to think it lies in some kind of collective action, and the big firms should be rallying to Paul Weiss's defense. The media companies should be rallying to, Washington. And the AP, remember, they've been banned from the press room because they won't say Gulf of America. And universities and the same, the dynamic is so clearly, expressly, there's nothing outlandish or hyperbolic about it at all. First they came for Covington, and then they came for Paul Weiss, and then they came for me, but there was no one to defend me. Same thing in media, same thing in the Academy. It's just a disaster, and sort of stunning that with such a weak and illegal hand, he's been able to so influence and the conduct and cow these really important big national institutions and aspects of civil society. This is this is all separate from, for the most part, all the illegal stuff he's doing. Some of this is Perkins Coie says illegal, etc. But just the ability to influence because of his own nasty reprisal agenda, and because everyone understands in the country he's such a jerk that they will, people could get hurt, their own sort of personal interests. And so far, the different industries haven't figured it out or gotten it together to fight back. And it is a really, really ugly development. Paul Weiss, just capitulating is a friggin' stunner. I'm here to tell you. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.